handing out your groceries, so that's why you see a random hand in there with a red sleeve. Because she was like, I'll get the rest of them for you, just go over there. It is currently raining as soon as I got out of Walmart, so I found this parked semi that's not attached to anything and put my cart under there. And now it's time to unload this pack, take off all the labels, packaging of all the stuff I got, and pack it in the backpack. Here's what everything in this backpack looks like. Inside Walmart, they have a one-person hiking tent that weighs 4 pounds, which is kind of heavy. But REI sells a tent that's super lightweight, but it's $130. I think I'm gonna go with the 4-pound, $30 tent currently, and then we'll figure it out on our way down the trail. I was gonna just use a hammock, but I don't really fit in normal size hammocks, and there's not a lot of space. And also, even though bears can come up to hammocks and tents the same, just having that thin wall between me and the bear gives me so much more insurance. I'm gonna have to wait on the stove because this Walmart doesn't have it, so I'm gonna wait until 30 miles on the trail. There's a store that gets all your resupplies and stoves and things of that nature. So it's just gonna be cold food for the first 30 miles. First up, we have 2 extra battery chargers. My back camera is cracked, my screen is cracked. Time to get a phone case. I know I'm late, I know my phone's already busted, but this is to keep it from getting more busted. Here's all our food supplies for 1 week. Let's go check out. So the pack's light now. Food, water, that's the heavy stuff. This pack's weight, no joke. At Planet Fitness, going to charge my phone and my 4 battery packs. Got to be organized, and that's what it looks like. Noise. Made it up the 600 something freaking stairs. Just had my last fast food meal for a long time here at Wendy's. When did Wendy's get good? I had a bacon cheeseburger, big old storm rolling in here. Look at these storm clouds right before my hike. Getting a lift to the head of the trail. I'm excited, let's go.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
That's not bad actually.
Anyway, so did a pack weigh in. My pack weighs in at 38 pounds, which is pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. My parents, when they hike, they get about 30 pounds per pack, but they're sharing their weight since they both go together. Anyways, let's head over to the arch and we'll start our hike. Here's the 8.5 approach walk to the Appalachian going under the arch. What's up? I am on the approach trail for the Appalachian Trail. It's 8.6 miles. So I'll be at Springer Mountain in 8.6 miles, the official start of the Appalachian Trail. I'm so excited. This is awesome. This is not photoshopped at all. This is all natural, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, already 1 mile in, look at these flowers. 175 steps to get over this waterfall. Difficulty, as the sign said, strenuous. I'm not even a mile in, I'm dripping in sweat. All the way down there. I still have to go all the way up there. Made it up the 600 something freaking stairs. I'm out of water. The next water source is about 2 miles, 2.5 miles away. So I'm gonna hike there, and then that's where I'm gonna camp for the night. It is currently 5 o'clock, and I already have blisters, so. Here's me setting up the tent for the night. First thing I do is I'm gonna put in the stakes. It just keeps everything like solid while I'm putting in the rafters, if you will. These are not the terms, but the rafters is what I'm calling these poles. My feet hurt, but I knew like starting hiking with a couple blisters already was like a bad idea, but like it was time to get started. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be hiking for the next 2 months, and I just want to see how far I can get. This thing always drives me nuts. I always put it on wrong starting out, and I didn't today. So that was a blessing, let me tell you. Inside there is all my dry supplies, so like my homemade trail mix, because I can't eat nuts, so I made it out of dried banana chips, dried tangerines, dried blueberries, granola, and M&Ms. Gotta have our chocolate in there. And then I have a bag of pretzels, and then I have a bag of something else, which I can't remember right now. Oh yeah, Kind bars, 24 like Kind bars. No need to hang that up in the tree. It took me like 45 minutes to figure this out. This is my bear bag, which is just a laundry bag, and inside of it is my 2 other food bags. I got it way up there in between 2 trees. And then not only is the laundry bag hooked up to the paracord, the 2 bags inside are. So yeah, hopefully nothing can get to that. Taking off my shoes. When I was hiking in Miami, I had started to get blisters due to walking around in wet shoes. Oh, those shoes are nasty. And then I was walking on those blisters all day today. Feels like I grew a couple extra toes. And for the reveal. Oh yeah, look at that blister. Dang, he's a biggin'. Let's check the other one. Got another big one right there. Dang, it hurts. Alright, my phone is at 15%. Time to put this thing to use and see if it works. Walked on the AT Approach Trail today. A total of 7.5 miles. Tomorrow we have 1 more mile left on this trail, and then we get on the actual Appalachian Trail. So this is like the beginning trek, and it was mostly 95% uphill. It sucked, but it was a good hike, and I am ready to knock out. I have no service, so this vlog is not going to go out until tomorrow. All waterfall photos and nature photos will be posted on Instagram when I have service as well. Thanks for watching. Some cool nifty morning. Welcome to day 2 on the Appalachian Trail. Good morning. It is 6:55. I just put on this shirt because I woke up freezing. Should have took this tag off. Extra weight, you know. Right here, I had my knife and my whistle just in case something happened. Just in case a bear tried to get in. Outside, it's a beautiful rainforest. And there's our bag still over there. Our food bag. It is. We did good, y'all. Absolutely beautiful morning. Bear bags down. Tents packed up. Today I packed up the bag a little bit differently. I put yesterday all the heavy stuff on the bottom, but it kind of had me bending back like this. So now I put all the heavy stuff on top. So hopefully it'll help me just bend like this. It'll be easier. I don't know. In my head, anyway, and let's get on our way today. Made it to the top of Springer Mountain. Here's that view. Oh. Guess you could have camped up here. I stopped a mile before. I was just spent. Elevation 3,782 feet. Let's go. Look at this cool nifty. Dang, this is since 2021. So 3 years. packed full of entries. This is awesome. I've hiked a total of 5 miles, 5.6 miles today, and I'm at a juncture called the Three Forks Wooden Bridge. Awesome creek. Every time I get to a water source now, I chug a bottle and fill it, because I'm constantly thirsty, constantly sweating. One thing that I've noticed is, and I'm getting kind of frustrated at it, is I'm used to being able to walk 8 miles straight uphill with no backpack and do it in an hour. It just took me 3 hours to walk 4.5 miles with a 38-pound backpack. It's driving me nuts how slow I'm going. I am taking an hour break at the falls so you can hear behind me. And I'm also going to make some peanut butter and jelly wraps. I know I said I can't eat nuts. I have cashew peanut butter, and cashews are really the only nut that doesn't bother me. So I knew bread would get smushed, so great value tortillas. Now to roll up these bad boys and enjoy them. About 1.5 miles to go until I'm done for the day. That spot will mark 9 miles. I've been hiking steadily since 8 o'clock. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1. So it's 1:45 now. So 6 hours, 6.5, 7 hours. No warning whatsoever, just gushing rain. I found a shelter because you're supposed to only camp on shelter spots. Set up the tent. It took me about 2 minutes. In the meantime, I got a puddle in the tent before I got the cover on, and I'm soaking wet. Adventures of hiking already. Good morning. Getting a late start because my legs were hurting this morning. Charging the phone and uploading my first YouTube video, and well, the first YouTube video for the hike. And so far it has been taking 6 hours and taking all the battery on my phone. So maybe YouTube will have to wait until the hike's done. Stopped on this big rock pile looking out. Y'all can't see it, but I can through like the trees a little bit. I'm on top of this mountain and the view is, oh, growing up, short little Q&A. That's not a Q&A. Short little about myself. Growing up, I was addicted to the woods. As soon as after I was homeschooled, or as soon as I got out of Christian school, I was in the woods with the dogs. Violet was her name. Sometimes the Jack Russells would join us, but I was in the woods and I was exploring, I was hunting, I was fishing, I was building my own little forts. I would take sketchbooks out there. I would take notebooks out there. I would fall asleep on the pine needles. Started hiking today at around 10:30. It is currently 1:30, and I've come 4 miles. Almost, it was just straight uphill and then straight back down, and straight uphill and straight back down. Did that twice, so I assume 2 mountains. I hiked those 4 miles, no water. Hopefully there's water soon. Been hiking a total of 6 miles from where I camped out. Listen, I haven't had water since last night. There goes the rest of the Applachian Trail, which we will get to tomorrow. I smell rain too. I smell a little bit of rain, and it's getting dark and a little chilly. So they have a shelf for this creek to camp out on. Here's our camp spot.
So it is time for me to set up camp, and I am choosing this area because it's a little bit off the beaten path, but it is still a campsite. I have a tag, if you saw in the first vlog, that showed like as a long time hiker on the trail or a long distance hiker on the trail, I would only use designated campsites, and if I found any trash, I'd pick it up, and just basic rules about hiking. And so I'm using a campsite. Today I decided to put the poles in differently because the tent's been weird, and then it was just very weird when I tried to do it the other way. So from now on, I will be hooking up the tent the normal way. But it did take, so I don't know. You can see my puzzled look there for half a second. This thing always gets me. Always gets me. And then once I hook it, as you see, I step on the stake and drill it into the ground. And yet, for second day in a row, we got it. I put up my bear bag. Gonna eat. I got these at Walmart. Cheaper than beef jerky. $8. And it comes with 80 of these. And they're really good. I got my head on the swivel because less than 10 feet away from my tent, I didn't even notice it, but down by the creek is fresh bear poo. Like, the flies are just getting to it. Unfortunately, the only place I could find to put the bear bag. Here's my tent. It's about 15 feet up this trail, 20 feet up, 15, 20 feet up in a tree. It's right behind my shelter, but that's all I got. My parents kind of warned me of this. They said people, when they start hiking, they'll realize their packs are too heavy and they're bringing along unnecessary items. That will probably happen to me at some point. But when you realize that, leave it in a trash can. Okay, there's no trash cans out here. But wait until you get to civilization to discard it. Don't just discard it here in the wilderness. So, someone repellent towelettes, and then this look at this fishing kit. 127 piece fishing and hunting kit. I ain't gonna be fishing, but I will pack this out so it doesn't just sit here. We also got 2 pairs of socks. Look at that perfect bowl shape. I give you nature's ice bath. That was the coldest dip of water I've had in a while. But it kind of woke me up too. And so now I'm not tired. And I'm like, what? I just stopped. But I'm not going anywhere. This tent is heating up in the sun fast. And I'm sure I'll doze off shortly. I'm going to chug a ton of water. Get my feet out of these shoes. Probably go to sleep earlier so I can wake up around like 6 and get started hiking again. And came in. Cut. Good morning. It's 7:45. I woke up at 6, but then I fell back asleep. Camp is all packed up and on my back. Let's head out. These low-hanging branches make it a little creepy. I ain't gonna lie, especially when you're alone in the woods, hiking, you know, doing your thing. Tripped right there, so I'm cutting it out, and then came into a very beautiful spot in the woods. About half a mile up the way. Ran into a couple. I didn't even see them. I was just so concentrated on hiking, and they had a brown lab with them, and they know the area well. And they said from the spot I currently am now, there is a granite rock that faces the mountains, and it's currently 5 miles away. I did 17 miles today, so that I could hit a town tomorrow.
and I'm done. Cut shrubbery, there's moss, 5 days of hiking, worth it. Yes, you're working the runway, honey. Yes. It's 7:30. It's freezing. It's day 5. Yesterday we hiked 17 miles, as you saw on the vlog. If you didn't, go check out that vlog. My legs are already shaking, and all I did was pack up camp. We have half a mile hike up to the top of Blood Mountain. Ooh, Blood Mountain's a little scary to hike. I'm not gonna lie. There's shrubbery, there's moss, there's weeds. It's really weird. And then we have a mile hike down it till we get to Neil's Gap. I am snacking on a dried tangerine, and I do have to say this is my first time eating them. Might be my new favorite snack. Top of Blood Mountain. This view alone makes 5 days of hiking worth it. I mean, I'm up in the clouds. Can't stop looking at it. How can you look at this view, at this creation, and in your heart say, there is not a God? I remember as a kid asking mama and dad, hey, what about those people who don't have the Bible, who don't have the gospel? And they said they can look at creation and know that there is a God. For me, faith has always been a struggle. But today, me looking at this view, at the clouds, at the mountains, at creation, in my heart of hearts, I know there is a God, and I believe in God. This is the white stripe, how I know where I'm going. And they put it on the rock because there's only shrubs around, and there's no actual trees to put this on, so they put it on the rock. But when I started out on the Appalachian Trail, on the approach trail, the stripe was blue. And then when I got on the Appalachian Trail, it switched to white. So when you're walking down rock faces, lean back a little bit and let your toes do the work. And yes, your toes will dig into the front of your shoe and it's uncomfortable. But if you lean forward, you'll go toppling over. If you lean back, you can mosey on down the rock face with a sway and a swagger in your step. Yes, you're working the runway, honey. This is Neil's Gap. Finally. Dang, I made it. Made it to Neil's Gap in 5 days. Yes. If I come back and my pack ain't here, we're in trouble. It's good on my feet. Welcome to day 6 on the trail, where yesterday I didn't do anything but 2 miles to hike down and get a shakedown. Definition of a shakedown is where professionals go through your backpack and tell you what you need and what you don't need. My pack went from 38 pounds to 27 pounds, and I feel good. Snails cover the trail. And then we got some ground footage here. The sky was absolutely amazing. Tough hike, but absolutely amazing. I could not get enough. I mean, look at that. Oh, just absolutely beautiful. I've done 5.5 miles since Neil's Gap. Came out on the road. My goal is to do a couple more miles today. Just did a zigzag mountain all the way, like straight up zigzags. And we're still going up. Worse than Blood Mountain. 100%. 101. 111. It is 4:14. I've been walking since 10:30 and I made it 11.5 miles. I am currently in a shelter, which I'll give y'all a tour of in a second. But I have been without water for the whole 11 miles. There was a water stop, but I got warned that it was actually a sewage dump. And so if you can make it the 11.5 miles, do it. If you can't, pray that your water filter works really, really good. This is the shelter I'm staying at tonight. And there's a bear canister and those little hooks you can hang your bag on. That's the log I'm going to sign into later. And there's a rat nest and pigeon poo and ugh. We got ourselves a picnic table, a fireplace, and we have water right next to the shelter. Oh, this gravel feels good on my feet. So tonight I want to build a fire if it doesn't rain until later, and even though I've been hiking all day and sweating, I want a cup of hot chocolate. There is no ventilation if you start a fire in here, so I need to dig out all of this burn stuff. Looks so much better. Alright, here's my starting. Let's see if I still have the magic as when I did when I was a kid.
A lot different than hiking in Florida, man.
I'm just gonna say that, it rained yesterday and, all the wood, everything's soaking wet, so that's why I couldn't start a fire. Anyways, this is the end of day 6. I am in the shelter. I have my tent laid down, like doubled to make it a little bit softer. Then my mat, sleeping with my backpack, sleeping bag down there. I'm going to bed at. Not gonna lie, a little scared that the bear could just walk in here. I got my knife, headlamp, whistle, and water all lined up at my head. Something you may not know about me, but I am deathly afraid of getting eaten by a bear at night.
Day 7. I have walked 6 miles this morning and it is currently 10:20, I think. And 4 more miles to the next gap. And that was my goal for today because my knees are really swollen. According to my AT guide, I've done 12 miles. And in order for me to get to the next shelter, I need to go 3 miles. Half a mile away from the shelter, my back gave out. And already my knees are swollen, so I was like, I'm not going to make it. And I was basically running to drop my bag. So it's easy to fill up. Day 8. I started around 8:20. It is currently 10:55, and I've gone almost 6 miles. Ugh. I think I busted my knee. I fell and twisted my knee. That's killing me. The next shelter is in 2.5 miles. And then the next route to town is in 3 miles. I might stop at the shelter, see how the leg's feeling. But tonight, 8 night might be the night I go to a hotel because this leg sucks. Just did a 30 minutes straight uphill. My leg is killing me. Water today is flowing out of the spring down here. And someone put a pipe here so it'd be easy to fill up. It's just very nice. Fancy. This shelter has windows. Shelving for cooking and food. Dang.
this guy. Porch. It's got a loft. Poison ivy on both legs. Rash up here, which I can't show. And then this is all like water.
There's a fire pit at this shelter. Let's retry the fire thing.
So in the center is leaves and moss, and
I thought we got a pretty good fire going. Let's make a cup of hot chocolate because I've been looking forward to it. And then we're also going to cook some ramen noodles tonight. First, the hot chocolate. I use the packet to start the fire. I cheated. Day 9, 4-mile walk to Hiawassee. Well, to the intersection that goes into Hiawassee, Georgia. These tree tunnels are some of my favorite, whether going downhill or uphill. They provide a lot of shade, and they're really beautiful. I can hear the highway, and the highway actually crosses 5 miles away from Camp Hosanna, where I was a camp counselor for 3 years. Haven't been here since I was 17, but I remember this road. Down this road is Camp Hosanna, a 5-mile walk from the Appalachian Trail. I don't know how many more miles I got ahead of me, but I am spent. I paid $45 for this hotel, plus tax made it like $56, $57, which is pretty good. One of the beds is a little ugh. So I just moved over to the other one. The refrigerator doesn't work, and that. There's a Dairy Queen at the front of the property.